Heading into the second half of the 2014 NHRA Real Pro Mod season, the title was within reach for as many as 10 drivers, and it would take all 5 races before a champion was crowned. Watch the excitement unfold on Inside Drag Racing, starting now.
Welcome to the world-famous, family-oriented sports venue known as Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio, to kick off the second half of the 2014 NHRA Pro Modified Drag Racing Series.
And in first-round action,
turbocharged versus supercharged methanol burners. Coughlin stages and leaves. A great drag race. Latino's out in front, but Coughlin nips him at the finish line on a whole shot victory. Ricky Smith purging the nitrous oxide system in his 2014 Chevy Camaro, a Jerry Bickle Race Cars product. And he's taking his time rolling in. A typical tricky Ricky move. And Whiteley shakes the tires, and it's all over. Smith goes through the gears on the manually shifted 2014 Camaro and takes a win at the quickest run of the round. Lang is from the Canadian province of Manitoba and is a past world champion in this division in another association. He'll be alongside Danny Rowe. The Agave Underground Tequila team of Mike Ivey, this is the second of that group's 2 machines. On board with Danny Rowe as he streaks across the finish line, and the #1 qualifier goes even quicker.
Next up, the quarterfinals.
The current point leader in the far lane, looking to stay on top. But it's not gonna happen this time. Coughlin and crew chief Steve Petty unleash a second 595. Interestingly, both Jimmy Rector and Howard Moon have multiple world championships in the supercharged alcohol funny car category. They leave the starting line, and this is a whale of a drag race. The win goes to Vaughn Smith on a hole shot. Wow, what a drag race. Take a look at the replay. It was 0.005 of a second difference at the finish line. In other races, he might be the first to stage. Right now, neither driver, oh, there goes Ricky Smith. He stages first. Visca spools up the turbo car. They leave the line. And it is a drag race, but Ricky Smith gets the win on another hole shot. 591.8 while losing 5. Well, Ricky Smith can't stop.
Now for semifinal action.
Ricky Smith, the 2013 world champ, against the 2012 world title holder, Troy Coughlin.
Ricky was in the stones, but he won that one on a hole shot.
Yeah, I tell you, if I could have been down there a little bit sooner, I'd have helped push that thing further into the sand and help flip her over on its top. I love Ricky.
It's no secret this is the most intense rivalry in NHRA Pro Mod racing, and we'll have to see what game is played. Oh, Ricky Smith stages almost immediately. Troy Coughlin waits and waits and waits. They leave the line. It's a tremendous drag race. Troy Coughlin wins. Unbelievable side-by-side 594s, and Ricky Smith only has 1 chute deploying again.
And in the finals,
Vaughn has a 0.02 of a second advantage based on averages going into this final. But it's going to be Troy Coughlin on a hole shot. Vaughn Smith runs quicker as expected, but Troy wins.
Very blessed today to have both me and my brother Mike in the winner's circle today.
While the Jegs.com team has a huge, huge victory in their pockets, bear in mind Ricky Smith has returned to the top of the list in the World Championship point standings.
Inside Drag Racing is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology, and by Aeromoti. We know it, we race it, we live it. And by Precision Turbo and Engine, the winning edge in boosted performance. And by Race Gas, get more out of your engine.
Welcome, everybody, to the big one, the National Hot Rod Association's 60th Annual U.S. Nationals here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Claremont, Indiana, just west of Indianapolis. This is the biggest and most prestigious drag race of the season, especially for the NHRA Pro Modified drivers who've competed here since 2001. Now, there are a lot of racers who have won this event, but no one has ever won it twice. Not twice in a row, just twice at all. And on the grounds for this 2014 edition, more cars than have ever attended an NHRA Pro Modified event ever, almost 3 dozen machines. This one will be one for the ages.
And in first round action,
This could prove to be one of the most important drag races of this event. Mike Janis and his supercharged Chevy Camaro against Troy Coughlin and his turbocharged Corvette. These two are right behind Ricky Smith in the point standings, battling for the number 2 spot. A tremendous drag race, and right at the finish, Coughlin nips Janis with one of the quickest runs of the event so far, 5.86 seconds. There is no love lost between these two. Smith purges the nitrous oxide system in the red and white car on the left side of your screen. Rowe is waiting patiently in the pre-stage beam. There could be a burn down here. We'll have to wait and see who stages first. It's Rowe going in quickly. Ricky is going to take the full 7 seconds to go in. And they leave the starting line wheels up. It's Ricky Smith by a half a car length, 589 to a 591. He advances past one of the toughest drivers in the field.
now for quarterfinal action.
Tony Christian has been the butt of jokes over the years, but it's certainly a treat for everybody to see Bob Glidden and Tony Christian on the starting line for this drag race. Shannon takes one last look at the wheelie bars on the starting line as her husband Billy moves into the stage beam. And a red light start for Dan Stevenson. Billy Glidden will advance, and I guarantee you he will shut the engine down early. Yep, 597 and only 219 miles per hour. There was plenty more left in the Mustang. Texan Nizer stages first. Ricky takes his time and goes in second, and they leave together again. But problems for Nizer as Flames exit the headers, and Ricky crosses the line at 5.90 seconds in a very consistent victory. Knowles has been the spoiler of the year, defeating many quicker cars in eliminations during the NHRA Pro Mod Series. Coughlin is behind, but now the top-end charge makes the difference, and Coughlin will advance to the semifinals.
Now for semifinal action.
The supercharged Mopar in the far lane can run the same elapsed times Glidden's been putting down, but it's not going to matter. Billy Glidden leaves the starting line too soon and hands the victory to Pete Farber, who goes to yet another NHRA final round. If Ricky Smith wins this round, he will not only stay in the points lead, he will advance to his second NHRA U.S. Nationals final round. Smith takes every bit of time allotted to stage up, and they leave the line. It's a war. Ricky Smith wins it on a hole shot. That's why they call him Tricky Ricky. Watch the replay as Smith holds off the turbo car by 33/10,000ths of a second.
And in the finals,
Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Smith wins the U.S. Nationals and becomes the first man to do it twice. Farber runs into tire shake. Ricky wins everything.
I mean, I know I keep saying I'm retired, but I am. If I win this championship, ain't nobody stopping me from retired. Me and God done talked. That's it. If I can pull this deal off, and that's the reason I'm trying so hard, I'm give out. I'm 60 years old. I'm whooped doing all this work between rounds. I'm amazed that God keeps letting me win, because Ted Jones has watched me win a lot of races in my career, and the good Lord's been riding with me. Thank you. Thank IDG. Main of all, thank my wife for 42 years of putting up with a lot of hell and a lot of hard times. Thank Melly Allen, NHRA! Woo!
Welcome to the gorgeous facility known as Z-Max Dragway in Concord, North Carolina, where the NHRA Pro Mod Series presented by Power Rocks has already had some big upsets. Ricky Smith is leading the point standings and he's qualified in the show, but past champion Mike Castellana in the far lane did not make the 16-car field, one of 12 drivers not to do so. Mike Janis, however, is still a contender in this points battle. New Englander Pete Farber is still one of the drivers who has a chance at this. Troy Coughlin, the past champion of 2012, is also a contender, as is Vaughn Smith.
You know, racing Ricky is always a great deal, and like you said, the rivalry, it ain't really a Smith thing as much as it is just we've raced together for so long, but great competitor and great team over there. I mean, I just think the Al Abbey team is up for it, and we'll see what happens.
And in first round action,
Coughlin taking a long time to stage, but he leaves the starting line first. And that's the end of that one as Coughlin drives away in convincing fashion. Whoa, both cars out of shape past the finish line, but no damage, no foul. Here's Chicago and Dan Stevenson and his nitrous oxide injected Chevy Camaro, the first of the nitrous cars we've seen in this round, up against Mike Janis, the legendary New Yorker, and his Jansen Automotive sponsored Chevy Camaro with a supercharged engine. Again, no contest. The beauty of Pro Mod is the diversity of the power plants, but so far it looks like anybody who's in the far lane is a winner. Smith stages last. They leave the line and it looked like an advantage for the far lane and Vaughn Smith at the finish line. It's too close to call. Vaughn Smith wins the closest drag race of the entire season. The finish line difference for the far lane winner, 7/10,000ths of a second.
For me, it's great, win on a hole shot. It's terrible to lose on a hole shot, and it's happened to me at the last race, so it is what it is. Thank God.
Well, Mother Nature was the big winner in Charlotte, North Carolina. A complete washout of that event moved eliminations for the Charlotte program to St. Louis, Missouri, actually Madison, Illinois, right across the Mississippi River, and Gateway Motorsports Park. We pick up Charlotte eliminations in round number 2 here at Gateway Motorsports Park with Steve Matusik against Billy Glidden, whom Steve Matusik knows is a tough one. Completely different weather conditions, completely different track. A great drag race, and the win goes to Matusik, and again the cars both run 5.9 seconds. It's important to remember that while Ricky Smith is the quickest driver of any nitrous oxide injected machine, Jim Larita is the second quickest of all time. An incredible drag race, and again, 7/10,000ths of a second difference at the finish line. Janis wins on a hole shot.
You win this race, you're less than a round behind Ricky Smith.
I know that already. We've been counting already, and I just got to do my job. The crew's doing their job. It's up to me. I got the car that can do it. It's up to me.
Mike Janis was forced to change engines. He found damage, and the crew thrashed to put in a brand new engine and get the car ready for the final while he was against the clock. Now, they haven't had a chance to actually test fire the engine or even see what it's going to do, but they do have the car ready for this final round. And Janis blows off the tires while Coughlin was vulnerable. Coughlin's Corvette gets sideways. He slows well off his previous pace, but Penny radios to Troy that he's a winner.
Getting down to the wire like this is pretty cool, and me and Mike both are just nipping on Ricky's heels, and we're loving every bit of it.
Inside Drag Racing has been brought to you by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology, and by VR12, Ultimate Cooling System Protection, and by 4Tire.com. 100% American-owned company, and by Borla, the world's most winning exhaust.
Welcome, everybody, to Gateway Motorsports Park, located just across the Mississippi River from downtown St. Louis, Missouri, here in Madison, Illinois. This is the National Hot Rod Association AAA Insurance Midwest Nationals, and it is the next to last drag race on the 2014 NHRA Real Pro Modified Tour, with this event sponsored by Precision Engine and Turbo. You couldn't ask for more drama coming into this penultimate event on this season-long tour. We've got Ricky Smith, a nitrous oxide injected race car, leading this field. Mike Janis, a supercharged entry in the number 2 spot, and Troy Coughlin's turbocharged Corvette number 3, separated by a maximum of 3 rounds of competition. That's what's going to make this drag race so critical. The Pro Modifieds were on display in downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium before the fans were treated to on-track action like this. Walsh takes a long time to stage up, but it's a great drag race, and Walsh puts down one of the quickest runs of the entire year, 582 to a losing 586. While it was a car length difference at the finish line, it was the incredible power of that Camaro that stood out. Just about every other driver on the property is waiting, hoping to see Billy Glidden take Ricky Smith out so that people can get even closer to the point leader in this wild World Championship battle. But it's Ricky Smith stretching it out, and he continues the dominance of winning drivers in the 5.8 second zone. And Mike Janis says, nope.
We go to Las Vegas, and it's an altitude track, and you're a nitrous car. You feel that you're a little bit of a disadvantage going there?
We're way behind. We're 400s behind here. We'll be 600s behind there, you know. If I don't leave here with a 3-round lead, I won't win a championship.
The nitrous car stages first, giving Troy Coughlin the opportunity to stage at his leisure, and boy, he goes in late. The whole shot goes to the Camaro, but the Camaro goes to the wall, and Coughlin will win and get a little sideways doing it, but a 585 is the quickest run of the round.
Now for quarterfinal action.
Will there be an advantage for any one combination? First off, we'll find out from 2 nitrous cars. It is a tremendous drag race, but Ricky Smith pulls it out at the end, and he didn't lose anything in the performance department.
Those turbo guys, they hang out all year, stay in the middle, under the radar, and all of a sudden the last 3 races, they bury us.
Those comments alone prove that nobody trusts anybody as far as the different types of engines in use here in Pro Modified. Uh-oh, we've got an upset brewing! Vaughn Smith takes out the number 1 qualifier, and now Ricky Smith is the one who's smiling.
Let's move to the semifinals.
Totoro's the last one in. They leave together. Whoa, and Totoro goes sideways. Knowles is gonna win this if he just keeps it in his lane. Brilliant consistency for the Coloradan. So, if Ricky Smith can beat the Dr. Moon's Rage Camaro, it may well be over, and he would be a 2-time series champion. Vaughn Smith stops Ricky Smith in his tracks on a hole shot, no less.
With your reigning world champion, Ricky Smith, and I know you're disappointed to go out this round. Ricky obviously a little bit disappointed and does not want to talk to us right now, as we're going to have to wait for Las Vegas for him to clinch that championship.
Smith has won everything. World Championships, national events. Knowles has never won a trophy in an NHRA race. Let's see who leaves St. Louis a winner. It's a great door-to-door battle, and Mike Knowles wins on a hole shot. His first event win ever is earned on driver reaction.
This is the God's honest truth. We get to the starting line, I'm putting my coat on. No kidding, this penny is sitting on the starting line on tails. I looked over at Billy, I says, them guys are done. That is a true story.
Welcome, everybody, to Bruton Smith's magnificent facility known as the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the final national event in the NHRA Pro Modified Series for 2014, where the world champion will be crowned at the ceremony that takes place after the event is completed each and every year. Despite the elevation of this track, Ricky Smith shocked a lot of people by qualifying number 2.
And in first-round action,
the twin-turbocharged Jegs machine is capable of defeating anybody here at Vegas. But first, he's got to get around Whiteley, and he barely does it. The quickest run of the round at 5.88 seconds is a winner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's crunch time in Las Vegas. Ricky Smith, the reigning world champion and current world point leader in the IDG Supply nitrous-injected Camaro, takes on one of his closest point rivals, Danny Rowe, in the Agave Underground Chevy Camaro. The supercharged methanol-burning machine tuned by Jimmy Rector lines up against the Jerry Bickle race cars. Pat Musey-powered red and white nitrous Camaro that needs to win 2 rounds here today to win the title. Problems for Danny Rowe. And Ricky Smith explodes the hood scoop right off of the IDG Camaro. That's a lot of damage. Let's take a look at the slow motion replay. An intake manifold explosion right here. A huge fireball. The explosion blows the entire electronic fuel injection unit off the top of the engine. And remember, folks, this has to be fixed before the all-important second round.
now for quarterfinal action.
Very simple scenario. If Ricky Smith gets the win light in this battle against upstart Rick Snavely, he wins his second world championship. Snavely, however, is one of the big upset-minded drivers in this field. Remember, he ran the fastest speed of the entire year in the previous round. Smith is the last one to stage. And here we go. The Turbo Camaro is falling back, but here it comes. Ricky Smith wins a second consecutive World Pro Modified Championship.
We brought a new car out before Indy, and everybody doubted me there, but I knew this car was bad. Jerry Bickle builds an awesome race car. Pat Musey, hey, engine build of the year.
Another starting line burn down. Neither driver willing to stage first. The turbo car goes in. Ricky takes his time and is ready for the final drag race. Ricky Smith wins it all. It wasn't his quickest run of the weekend or his fastest.
Look what's on that door. IDG. You can't beat it. I mean, Jerry Bickle, Pat Musey on the hood scoop. I even got Ted Jones here from when I started racing back in 1970. So, hey, it couldn't be a better way right now if I retire. I'm not saying I am yet. I got to go back and talk to Joe and Charlie. But if I do, this is a perfect opportunity to do it.
That concludes our two-part look back at the 2014 NHRA season. Be sure to tune in next week for a look at all the latest performance products from the PRI show in Indianapolis.
Sing Malayalam, NHRA! Woo! All right.